ladies and gentlemen, I'm shaking my head. The reason why is because the Western nations, starting with the UK and Britain, accused Russia of killing the double agent, the spy who was once worked for Russia, the Kremlin, the KGB, or the FGB, or something. They have another one, GRU. Okay, and this spy ended up dead in the UK. The UK immediately said Russia did it. They hadn't sent Russia any proofs, any time to investigate it, and said, well, since y'all killed this spy on our land, that's basically we can invoke Article 5. Article 5 is any member of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, they could invoke Article 5, which says if you mess with one of us, you got to mess with all of us, and all of us going to fight. So without any proof, Russia's guilty. The U.S. expelled 60 Russian diplomats from Washington State, from Seattle. It was near a military base and some other important infrastructure. And there was another 68 or something like that expelled by the other Western nations. Russia has called it a mistake. Putin has said he's going to make the final decision on what he's going to do. It's probably will take him a week. He's a very calculated man. He knows that he's going to get jumped. The NATO nations are going to stick together. And the reason why Russia is a threat is because it's an energy threat. In case you don't know this, Saudi Arabia is running out of oil. The OPEC nations are running out of oil. And so the next big producers with an S, there are three. Venezuela, Russia, and the United States. Venezuela is bankrupt. I don't know if you know this or not, but you can look this up. They've even eaten all of the animals in the zoo. That's how broke they are. They recently re-evaluated gold. It went up something like 300 times what it was previously, the week before. And that's what's going to happen here as well. Gold and silver will skyrocket as the market continues to fall. Speaking of that, the market today was up 669 points. 669. We all know a 9 hides 3 6s. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So with OPEC gone, with Saudi Arabia running out of oil, and they're going to run out of money. That's the only thing they had, right? To offer the world was oil. That's gone now. So we have the U.S., Venezuela, and Russia. Venezuela's pretty much out of it. They can't even afford to pump their own oil. They're going to need help. And so it's the Russia and the U.S. So what the thing is here, in case you haven't heard of OBOR, it's one belt, one road. So China has a one China policy, which is all the former provinces of China, places like Hong Kong and Taiwan. They don't let them go anywhere. Even though these places claim autonomy, claim to be independent, their own nations, China says, no, you're still a part of us. Okay. What else is happening here? The OBOR, one belt, one road, is China's way of rebuilding the Silk Road, which you know that's what Marco Polo traded on. It's going to wrap around the entire globe, the entire world. They're building it, not necessarily over the sea, but there would be a trade route, and China's financing it. They're going to every country that's deprived, that's broke, that doesn't have any money. And you need infrastructure, you need a bridge, you need a road. Oh, we'll build that for you. You need a loan? Oh, here, take this. So everybody's going to be indebted, and you're going to pay. Oh, yeah, you're going to pay up with the interest, or we're going to take everything. That's the bottom line. Yeah, so, and later on, we'll be going over this stuff with the biblical money, basically. Money, how money is supposed to be, how it was, and the best way it should be. But this is just to further reiterate where we are on the world stage. So, it's rumored that Kim Jong-un has slipped off to China to talk to them before he talks to Trump. Now, we all know that They say that the CIA runs North Korea, but you can't run it without China. So China's running it too. So it's a spy versus spy, double agent type of game. So he's getting his orders on what to tell Trump, what to do, how to fight back, what to push back, what to tell him, to make this thing work. Because we've also launched tariffs. We started a trade war against China. But the thing is, why I mentioned the One Belt, One Road in the first place is because China has been touted to be the world's new superpower. That's why they have built cities. I mean, like beautiful industrial cities with skyscrapers and streets and everything. And there are like 2 people in the whole city. The city can probably hold 10 million. There's 2 people in it just to, keep it clean and keep the streets swept and stuff like that. And there's more than one city like that in China. They didn't do it for nothing. And the reason is, after they destroy the rest of the world, the elite would have somewhere to go to stay. The bottom feeders, the cattle, the cannon fodder, those who don't have any money, doesn't matter your color, you're not going to make it. So they have, in every country, on every continent, they have underground cities, they have underground railroads, they have a way to move around. So when this destruction happens, so what I've been wondering is Trump a part of this? I mean, he is a part of the Illuminati card game. He's the one that enough is enough. He's on 2 cards. He's the enough is enough guy, and he's also the guy the Trump. There's just the card that says Trump. So we saw Obama in there as well as backlash, and then see, these are some of the world players that's in there. Hillary is in there. Bill Clinton is in there. So a lot of things in there. But what I'm saying now is Russia. Okay, so they have some advanced weapons. They have one of the best, I won't say militaries, but I can say that. It's not the largest, but they have a system of fighting called Sistema. It's better than Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's better than Taekwondo, karate, boxing. It's a martial art. It's about joint control. You take out the enemy within seconds. If they put a gun on you, knife on you, you use their wrist and joint control. You break them all down, man. You do quick little stuff, and they're all on the ground. And then they teach you how to punch, almost like a Winshi punch or the Bruce Lee punch, the 1-inch punch. Winshi has a 6-inch. Well, Sistema has a punch that moves so slow and it looks like it's so soft, but when it hits somebody, it's like they collapse, like they're gonna boo-boo on themselves. I mean, I hate to say that type of word, but that's what the facial expression looks like. They're like, whoa, when they get hit by that punch. I'm like, whoa. I mean, you wonder, is this fake or what? But no, the military is pretty good, man. And they have, man, just look up some of the stuff they have, man. They have nuclear submarines that can stay submerged for 100 days, and they're quiet, they're nuclear powered, and with what you call them? I want to say colos, but something to that effect. But they have a lot of good technology, man. And see, Russia is so cold all the time. They have to make good stuff for it to work. Because like in Siberia, man, it gets 30 below, 60 below, 0. And they live there. So, yeah, they have to have good electronics and good mechanical items for it to work. And that's why the Kalashnikov, the AK-47, is such a good rifle, because they were going to kill anybody who couldn't make the rifle work after it's been submerged in water and dirt and frozen. Still had to work. So, never underestimate the Russians, man. So I say that to say, the New World Order, the deep state, the Illuminati, had already chosen China to be the world's next superpower, a dynasty, what do I want to call that? Monopoly, empire, usually lasts about 250 years. And it usually swings from east to west to east to west. America's time is up. The dollar is up. The term, the lifespan of a fiat currency And I know I need to be shaving, so we'll get this taken care of before we do our next little thing here. But the lifespan of a fiat currency is 42 years. The last time we retooled ours was in 1971. It's way past 42 years, so it's about to die. And if you looked up Weimar Republic, that should be interesting. And I spelled it W-Y. It's W-E-I-M-A-R, Republic. Yeah, look that up. Look up their currency and what happened to it. It's in the dustbin of history right now. So is all the rest of them. The only one that's still around, that's been around longer than that, is the British pound. And we don't know. And they basically, they still have countries that feed them. They still suck off of us. We still send them tax money. Things that are unbeknownst to the world. But we are so close to World War III right now. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that the stock market is going to crash. Today was up like close to 700 points, like 669. I already said that. But probably tomorrow it's going to fall maybe 1,000. See, and that's shaking the weak hands, the volatility. But what you want to do is you want to make sure you have on-hand cash. You want to have silver and gold. You want to have food, water, weapons, guns and ammo. You definitely need God. You're going to need a lot of prayer. And think about this, you're going to need medicine. Think about this, right? I know y'all have all seen the hurricanes and stuff like this, the tornadoes, when they say, oh, you got to evacuate this and that and this. Everybody rushes to the store. The first things that sell out, bread and milk, water. Everything else, is all picked through. And this is what you don't want to do. Just think about this now. Just think about this, because you want to last long. You want to survive. That's the name of the game. It's all about survival. See? So think about this, right? Think about the store. You know how they rush the store in a storm. Okay, so if they told you, we just been hit by a bomb, a nuclear bomb, some enemy troops have rushed the shore, we're under assault, attack, alert, what do you think will happen? Nobody ain't got no bullets like that. They're going to go run and get bullets. They're going to go get food and water and gas and batteries and flashlights and candles and everything you can think of, toilet paper. You see what I'm saying? Because they're not prepared. And when you get down to that last bottle of water, you reach to grab for it, and this big fat man grab for it too. Y'all tugging on it. Yeah. Give it to me, it's mine. And you like, I ain't got no water. I got my family, my dogs, and everything. No, it's mine. I got it first. Well, guess what? Y'all finna fight right there. You might lose your life before the thing even gets started. Or he gonna lose his. You know what I'm saying? So y'all might injure each other right there, And you see how it was with the flu, how the flu virus was this year. The hospitals were full. They were turning people away. And they told people in this area, like in North Texas, they were like, unless you're deadly ill, don't come to the hospital. We're going to turn you around. And we're going to give you the symptoms to look for if you're deadly ill. If you're not about to die, go home and get sick enough to die, and then we'll make room for you. Wow. You see what I'm saying? So just think when there's a major catastrophe, not the flu, not something like the flu. You know what I'm saying? With something that's a biological weapon attack or nuclear weapon attack or just an invasion or some type of shortage or a hack attack on the electrical system or gasoline shortage, anything. You don't want to go around and, the first 15 minutes get into a fight or get into a shootout. Or get hit in the head with a bottle or get stabbed or something like that, and you bleed out before it even gets, the situation even gets that dire. So cool, calm, collected thinking. You want to avoid the problem. And how do you avoid the problem? You avoid the problem by avoiding the people that are going to cause the problem. And if you already got your stuff together, anybody you see is gonna want something from you, whether they ask you for it or not. They might wait till they get close enough to grab you and ask you for it. And it's not, at that time, it's not just asking, it's more of a suggestion that if you don't, then they may have a way to deal with you. But these are some things you want to think about. And so back to China. Back to China. They recently launched the Petro Yuan. They're a part of the SDR, special drawing rights. I know it's a lot of stuff I'm saying here. Get your pencil, get your pen, write it down, go look it up. I can't explain everything. It'll take too long. If you haven't been doing this throughout the years, getting your education up, now's the time to do it. So China's the big dog, right? So the New World Order had already picked them to be next. They have next up. So now China and Russia have a military agreement, a non-aggression treaty, which means if somebody picks on one of us, if one of us gets into a fight, both of us are going to fight. Kind of like NATO, the NATO alliance. Well, you know that was for, right? That was for NATO. That was for the U.S., right? So the U.S., Donald Trump, has been trying to get close to Xi Jinping. Now, what's happened here also within the last 2 weeks, Xi Jinping just extended his term to eternity. There are no more limits for president in China. Russia did something similar. Putin has gotten another term, another 6 years. This will be like his, fourth or fifth term? He did 2 or 3, and then he let Medvedev take over, and then he came right back, and he's on, the second, third again right now? Yeah, so he's probably the boss for life as well. So what we're trying to do, what Trump is trying to do, is get between Russia and China, put a wedge in between them, because they had slated America to go down. This started back in the Reagan days, and every president since then played their part in exporting all of our jobs, killing the business, giving everything, giving the technology to China. When Clinton first started giving our technology to China, China's military was like a third world military. I think North Korea's military was more advanced, with the 1950 vehicles. The military was like Cuba's, But now, not only is it on par with ours, they have weapons that we don't have. So they even have a quantum computer that we don't have. The fastest computer in the world right now is China. And we sparred that. And that's one of the things that President Trump is fighting for now, to keep our intellectual properties. Because if you want to do business in China, that's one of the things, all your patents and copyrights and intellectual property, or, whatever, you have to give it to them. I mean, there's a lot of people over there. It's 1.3 billion people. It's a lot of money to be made, but you're giving it up. I mean, you're going to make it, but your kids are going to suffer. But so up to this point, no one has cared. Everybody's gladly and willingly giving everything to China. Yeah. But we're at a point now to where China said this within the last week. They said, we're willing to fight. We're willing to go to bloody war to get to our rightful place. What does that mean? That means this. That means that China wants to be number one. That's all that means. MAGA, MAGA, make America great again. What does that mean? That means America wants to be number one. That's all that means. Well, guess what? You can't have 2 number ones. There can only be one. So either we're going to be friends and share it, or we're going to fight it out. Nobody wants to lose, because, everything will be destroyed. If there's a nuclear war, no one will be able to inhabit it for hundreds of years because of the debris, the fallout, right? So it's just useless. Read about what happens to Mystery Babylon in the book of Revelations. You'll love it. Anyway, if Trump can get between China and Russia, because if you remember, General Wesley Clark, look it up. This is when he was worked under Bush or something like that. But he came up with a plan No, he didn't come up with a plan. Someone showed him a plan to take down 5 to 7 countries. He named them. And we've taken down all of them. It was not only was it Iraq and Afghanistan, it was Syria, Libya, Egypt, Tunisia, Sudan, Ukraine, and probably one more. But you see how close we've come to that. Yeah, we're almost done. Syria's still holding on. Ukraine, it's too valuable to Russia. They don't want to give that up. Oh, and North Korea was one of them as well, and Iran. So you see they're on the they have the target on them as well. So we're going to war, guys. We're going to war. I can't call the date, but it just seems to me that by signing that omnibus bill under pressure like that, when you could have waited a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and they would have had to cave, but you signed it because you said, we need to have a strong military. We need to be able to fund the military. So you were thinking in case something happens in the interim, like right now. And it is. Like I said, we've just kicked out. The U.S. and all the West has kicked out all the Russian diplomats. Blamed them for killing a Russian spy, double agent, in the UK. Russia's trying to decide how to respond. Of course, China doesn't want to fight. China doesn't want to. China's the, you know what? China would love to have Russia destroyed, North Korea destroyed, and America destroyed. Then they're definitely going to be guaranteed the #1 spot and can control everything else and everyone else. So China, yeah, they'd love to see everybody else, you know, y'all fight it out and the winner get to do business with us. That's where we're at right now. So China's doing a big military drill in the South China Sea, you know, and that's by nations like Japan, the Philippines, the Koreas, Vietnam, and so many others. They're just disrespecting them. They're supposed to be international waters. China's claiming that now. Okay? And, of course, Russia is sending subs out all over the U.S. coast, East Coast, West Coast, Gulf, and the Gulf of Mexico, just to see if they can do it. These are nuclear subs. They can make a nuclear strike, and they've been going undetected. Okay, the U.S. military spread out all over the world. Yeah, so don't think we're out of the water yet. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But I just wanted to let you know that we're trying to go to war. They're trying to go to war. It's going to continuously ratchet up, trade war, turn into a real war. And as the stock market gets worse, you know, every time there's some type of market crash, we do go to war. Even when that was the case with World War I and World War II. Matter of fact, they claimed that World War II got us out of the Great Depression. Think about it. And they're saying that this market crash, this economic crash, the U.S. crash, is going to be a worldwide collapse. It's going to be the biggest one yet. The biggest one yet. Trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. Everything is going to fall. Yeah, so be ready. Be ready. Have what you need. Whether it's alcohol, whether it's drinking alcohol or rubbing alcohol and peroxide and bandages, because you never know. You know, barterables, things that you can barter. You need that. And because the dollar may not be any good. China's petrodollar, it was a little late. It actually launched today, I believe. A little late, about a month late, or a couple of months late. But it's not going to get any better. It's going to get a little more rocky. So, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Beyond Babbitt saying, be prepared. Out.